Hello and welcome here to the last series of South America Closed Qualifiers. 2 teams remain. One will get into Division 2 of South America here. We have Ghosts versus South Team. I am aponzeus. With me here, the fantastic Brightside. Are we excited for this match?
I am ecstatic. Not just excited, ecstatic for this one. Yeah, winner take all. Pretty much the definition of it here, as one team will go to Div 2. Loser will be on the sideline for this season. Curious to see. Both of these teams, I believe, lost to Mad Kings.
Yes.
Who we talked about earlier. They kind of just ran train through the upper bracket. So very curious to see what these two teams have to bounce back.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, South Team very much aware what just happened for Ghosts. They banning out the DK and the Pangolier. Meanwhile, on the side of Ghosts, a very unusual ban. The first ban, Visage. So certainly some information on both sides about the enemy team. And the first pick, CK. Once again, not surprised, but the last time, as we saw the Omega Gaming pick up the CK, it didn't work out that well. We'll see if Ghosts can once again make sure to shut down that hero proficiently, and they're gonna go for the Timbersaw.
Yeah, Timbersaw, one of the best one-to-one matchups against the Chaos Knight. I think you deal very well with his illusions whenever he spawns them, and you also just always have a way to kill the CK himself. Mm-hmm. The Enchantress is interesting as well because it is one of those heroes that is kind of weird. It has a weird dynamic with the Chaos Knight, right? You have the physical mitigation, of course, from the Untouchable, but if he does get the hit off on you, you're kind of dead. So it's a bit of a back and forth there.
Mm-hmm. And now, Keeper of the Light here. Now, it's gonna become scary with the CK because his low CD stuns are even gonna be lower on CD, and he's gonna throw them out just a ton.
Yeah, it makes you definitely lean towards this being a 3 CK. So already a pivot here from South Team. That is why so many teams like this first pick Chaos Knight, is it because you can put it 1 or 3. And you would imagine they want to dodge the Timbersaw matchup more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Although they're going to ban out the Medusa. Storm Spirit, by the way, once again, getting through the first phase. So just not as high of a priority for these teams as maybe at the major.
I'm also a little bit surprised to see that it is South Team who are banning out the Storm Spirit, despite them having the Keeper of the Light, which seems like such a strong combination. But they're saying, nope, we don't want to see that hero at all.
Well, so Ghosts have 15 pick, though, you have to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ghosts wanted the Storm Spirit, they could take it there. And it would obviously be really nice. Maybe they're thinking about this being a mid-coddle. Storm Spirit mid, very nice against mid-coddle throughout the game. So definitely something to keep an eye out for there. Is they're going to ban... Kunkka ban is really interesting from Ghosts, right? Because you already have the Timbersaw. Mm-hmm. It's not normally something you'd think of, but it might just be Mega Comfort, or it's just, one too many stuns for the Timbersaw to necessarily deal with.
Yeah, it feels very similar to like CK and Enchantress. I feel like Timbersaw and Kunkka, like they have ways against each other. It is certainly in favor of Timbersaw, but like 1x marks the spot at the correct timing, and Timbersaw might just be in a position where he just dies.
Yeah, it also forces you into this weird position where you feel like you might need Yules, but Yules is a pretty blah item right now. You'd rather go other things, so puts you in a bit of a weird itemization position. Mm-hmm. And similar thing can be said there for the Doom ban. Just taking out the Doom. That was like all the rage in Stockholm. Mm-hmm. This Doom 3/4 flex idea. They're also going to take out the Earth Spirit. That's an interesting ban. Not really a hero we've seen at all.
Mm-hmm. Now,
in this patch.
I feel like what that says to me is that they're a little bit scared about the jump of South Team. Because it's like Chaos Knight gets in and then Earth Spirit follow up and all of that. It's now Most likely gonna picking their second support at this stage, or a prominent core.
I
Is there
feel
any?
like they'll probably pick a support, and they'll probably reveal. I think they might be thinking about where if the Enchantress is gonna go pos 4, because Enchantress Timbersaw is such a natural lane synergy, and they are gonna go for the Grimstroke. Maybe not the hotly contested core, but the hotly contested support with the Grimstroke. We saw Ghost pretty reliably. They just kind of ran over Omega Gaming with the Grimstroke in back-to-back games earlier.
Yeah, and I feel like the Grimstroke Enchantress support duo was exactly what they had in game number 1, and it worked out very, very well for them. Now South team, I feel like they have very good answers to what Ghosts have right now. They are gonna go for what looks like a position 1 tiny, maybe a mid tiny, but actually it could also be position 4 since Keeper could go mid.
This is interesting. So South team, they responded, early pick Timbersaw, and they're just like, you know what, we need more strength heroes. Just tack them on. So bit weird, to see just at a first glance Tiny Snapfire picked up here, but both very high magic damage heroes, specifically good against the Timbersaw. And then Ghosts are going to go for the Ember Spirit. This Ember Spirit was much needed. Ghosts, every game they had the Grimstroke, they had a very natural pairing with it. They didn't really have that Inkswell target until this Ember Spirit pickup. So definitely it'll help them in this game a lot.
Yeah, it is going to be Ember Spirit mid as they banning out the Necrophos. You don't want to get Necrophos this Ember. And with that now, South team, they're flexible in the overall in what they currently have in their draft. What do you look for? Like, what do they still need overall as like for a cohesive team?
I mean, you've got to feel like they don't have their carry yet. It doesn't really seem like you'd want to lane either of these cores, Chaos Knight or Tiny, against Timbersaw. Ghosts seem to be thinking differently. They think it might just be a carry CK off mid Tiny. It's really, South team has so much flexibility here. It's almost impossible to decide on which one they're going for.
Yeah, there's even like the Snapfire off lane, Snapfire mid lane, which sometimes gets thrown around.
There's even the Coddle mid, right? Like we talked about earlier. So and they have 2 minutes to decide. Okay, well they're gonna use none of it. So.
Huh. That's an interesting pick. Silencer to round it out.
Silent. So they go. It's a weird. It's not like the conventional reasoning. I feels like for picking Silencer, where like normally you would pick this hero in response to Bane, Enigma, these long cooldown big game-winning ultimates. It feels like more of a response to the Timbersaw and the Ember, where just having the Q on them and then just the silence, the E-silence in these fights is going to be very, very value for them.
Yeah, as well as like the disruption of a team fight with the global sounds, like the Ember Spirit and Timbersaw jump a target, you call for the global sounds, and suddenly, yes, you are on top of the enemy, but you can't use any of your spells.
It's also one of the better laning supports against the Timbersaw. So a lot of 5s struggle to deal with Timbersaw as he gets into the levels, but once you get early Arcane Curse with the maybe you even get level 1 Glaives, and you just start going to town on him. Very, very curious. It's going to be the 4 Snapfire, I believe, and I think it's going to be mid Coddle.
Okay.
Unless I'm mistaken on their role. So the mid Coddle's particularly curious because it gives them a Vessel Builder, which is needed against Timbersaw and Wraith King, I'd say. And it also gives them that early super high damage, high magic damage that you need to deal with that timber saw in the mid game.
Yeah, I feel like especially in this game, the timber saw is not like, despite there being 3 strength heroes, he can be bursted down rather easily by South team.
Yeah, and it feels like they just have a lot of annoying things, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
They've got all of silencer stuff. They've got avalanche to disrupt. They have, I can't even remember what their other heroes are, but they have CK stun. They have cookie stun. They have scatterblast stun. Just a lot of things to disrupt, like you said, the timber saw. Not just the timber saw, but the other heroes as well in these fights.
Now we are here in game number 1 of this best of 3. Ghosts on the Radiant side versus South team on the Dire side. And the smoke here coming out from South team. Overall, we haven't really talked about which draft would you favor now that we see the full team for both.
I'm gonna take the beta way out and say I'm not sure, because I feel like both teams got a lot of heroes they were looking for. Even this last pick, Wraith King, like it has good merits this game, but it's not like a free Wraith King game. So it's going to be entirely dependent on how the teams play, I think, and especially in the laning stage, as they're lurking on the high ground here.
Yes, I will not go for the beta answer. Ghost has this game 1 in the bag, 22 minutes victory. No question about it. If I'm right, I seem really smart. And if I'm wrong, we all knew that I'm dumb.
I think the critical thing to look out for in this game is going to be if Ghosts can hit that 10 to 15 minute timing that we've seen them hit in their previous games. You get the Grimstroke, you have the levels on the timber saw, and you start bringing the aggression with the Enchantress. It does seem like South team, in theory, is well equipped to deal with it, specifically with the mid coddle. But we'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah. The mid coddle, I feel like, is always such a little bit of a gamble, because if he gets caught out one too many times, he can suddenly feel like quite a liability.
Okay, so check out this laning here from South team. So it is going to be the mid coddle like we talked about, but they're going to put the tiny bottom in the CK top. So it looks like it's going to be the offlane CK in the safe lane, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of early aggression onto this Timber Saw, actually. The level 1 Arcane Curse.
Yeah, and forcing him to use the Timber Chain to get away from the CK, but extending that curse. There's just like making full use of those nukes.
Very interesting laning decision. I would imagine this is an offlane CK, quote unquote. The way offlane CK works is very similar to carry CK, so it doesn't necessarily make a difference in which lane they're in.
And what do you expect First Blood to happen in this game now?
I would certainly imagine it's probably bottom. I think there's so much aggression potential on either of these duels, either of these sets of heroes down here.
You say that up top, the First Blood is happening there as the
And by bot lane, I meant top lane.
Of course, of course.
For the CK. That's what I meant.
Yeah, you meant to say like the off lane CK, but of course he's in the top lane.
Yes, correct. He's actually might be dead here on Greedy. He got the Arcane Curse off.
Yeah, the Arcane Curse, 20 HP. Is he? Oh, I don't know. He needs the Tango.
Oh
okay,
my
he's
gosh.
fine.
Yeah, there is never a doubt.
Never a doubt in anybody's mind.
But this is really nice for South team right now, the way they set this up. And a lot of it's going to boil back down to the silencer pick, which really an unorthodox pickup.
Yeah. As meanwhile in the mid lane, it's going to
be. Don't even look there.
Yeah, both are just pushing out their wave with their spells and then farming jungle.
Neither team blocked the other small camp, so they will have free reign on that.
The Grimstroke is going to die again. However, Rina on the CK taking a lot of beating back here, but not gonna fall. They're gonna no mana for a second stun for a few seconds here. They want to go for it, but...
And this is also curious. So T-Reyna, or I guess it's just Reyna, on the CK, he's going to rush the corrosion out of base. So he's going to have full corrosion before the Timbersaw really has high levels in that reactive armor. So just looking to be as aggressive as possible up here in this top lane. And it's not just the Timber. They can easily just kill the Grimstroke off cooldown.
Yeah. As we've already seen.
I just see the Silencer. He just buys 3 more mangoes just to get it going.
He knows what he needs to do here in this lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, there's gonna be a cookie into the into the toss.
Oh, great glyph.
Oh, nice glyph there by John, and with that, will not take any tower shots.
That was actually a life-saving glyph there from him. He was almost certainly dead there. Great toss back.
Dire structures are fortified.
I just glanced mid again, just in case anything was changing. Nope, it's still the same.
And actually, just in terms of last hits, this Wraith King is not really doing too well against this tiny Snapfire combination.
And they've got complete lane control here. They're gonna keep the creep equilibrium right outside this tier 1. So the CK, there is gonna be a stacked pull coming out from the Enchantress. Oh no, never mind, it's not stacked. I'm losing my marbles. But yeah, like you mentioned, not great for the Wraith King right now. All of the lanes really for South team going very, very well. And actually, the Snapfire, as I say that,
nice avalanche there to save Monty, and will survive. Fairy Fire even popped.
Yeah, you would think that the Tiny would struggle in this lane, specifically against Enchantress, having 0 base armor, but just the presence of the Snapfire, although I say that...
They're now going on to the Tiny. Nice stun there with the Centaur. Again, a toss away. Hermit, he wants to turn this around, but will fall. And now,
exactly what they needed. 5 seconds on a stun here if they want to go.
Oh, he's looking to turn this around, but the heal once again from the Enchantress.
So obnoxious trading into this hero. Just pops the level 1 heal. Oh, haha, he's full HP. Look at me. No bias there. Unbiased opinion, of course.
As the Ember, he has a remnant under the enemy tower.
Interesting. A zoning remnant, one could say.
And this Grimstroke is leeching some experience here from the Coddle. As well as, now contesting with the Inkswell. James is gonna get stunned up.
Nice play with the Illuminate, though. What runs in for that heal.
As meanwhile, Greedy, as he has no support, getting very low, but has level 5. TP's back home, and we'll be fine with that.
Alright. A lot of action in all the lanes. Not a lot of kills, but it feels like everybody's under duress right now. As speaking of that, under duress, well, goodbye, Silencer.
He's under the duress of death.
Got the D ward though. Got the D ward. It's actually debatably worth it to die for a D ward at this point in the game. As they do get the toss back.
Yeah, that's the toss back on the Enchantress. Even with all that heal under a tower, not gonna be able to.
And I don't think this is really the laning stage that Ghost had envisioned with their Timbersaw Wraith King picks. They're having trouble finding these English is hard, aggressive moves. And I think right now South team is perfectly content just playing these lanes, right? All 3 lanes are completely free farming for them.
Yeah, last hits are all in favor for Dire. over their laning partner. And even as we take a quick gander at the net worth, it is really greedy.
Top lane,
who
Timber
has
Saw.
trouble. He's going to be silenced up with the Phantasm, and now the Inkswell looking to turn this around. Louis going to be stunned up and will be dying first here. Greedy, however, his current curse is running for a long time.
This is a
Not
long
stun.
arcane. He is dead.
Yeah, he is so dead. Although, there's one more right click.
That's actually really good that Caudle gets to be there. He actually gets 2 earn charges for that.
Oh, yeah.
So super value rotation. And he also just, you know, walked in and yoinked the kill, of course, but that's just mid things.
Meanwhile, a gank attempt by the Enchantress, but as the stun was used, Tiny just TP'd out. Hurricane does not cancel TPs, I've learned right now.
I love watching these Enchantress players just abuse the Hurricane creep.
Oh, yeah.
They make some crazy plays. They pretty much treat it like a force staff.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's pretty much it. As Hermit is going to get the toss under tower here. And with the Silencer here, they get the silence, but the heal is there.
Oh, one more right click. Got him.
Yeah, there it is.
Man, this Silencer pick is putting in so much work.
Yeah.
And again, not a hero you really see right now, but you know, it makes so much sense in how they did it against the Timbersaw, and now these early aggressive moves towards the bottom lane working wonders.
It also forces like very specific itemization from both the Timbersaw and the Ember. Like Timbersaw going for a Lotus Orb first, although in the mid lane, they're gonna go here onto the Caudle Blessed Kid, trying to finish him off, but with the Silencer here, Blessed Kid is now in trouble and he will be dying.
He's just getting ruined by this last word.
Yeah.
That is the problem, right? So, you know, in the other games that we see Ghosts, we saw Ghosts today. They had Grimstroke with a very natural blink, stun, bada bing, bada boom hero, like the Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
They don't really have that until, I guess, Wraith King has a blink dagger, but the timing is going to be completely different from what they're maybe used to. Yeah, like you can send the Ember Spirit in this game, but one silence and he's just dead.
Yeah. And also it makes like all of this tower taking so much harder because like Caudle can just push it out, and if you dive too far, there will be a silencer and you're silenced, and both of these heroes rely so much on their spells to be able to weave in and out of these fights.
Absolutely. They will finally lose their top tower a lot later though than you would normally want to, you know, or later than Ghost would normally want to have taken this tower by.
As there is going to be an Ember Spirit jumping forward, but misses the stun there. They will still get the Stroke of Fate. However, there's going to be the Silencer. He's silenced. Oh, he still gets the Remnant out. But the Silencer gets the kill. Oh.
He just how long is last word? 4 seconds. It's level, so it's a 4-second silence at level 2, and it'll go up to 6 seconds. Holy cow! That's really long. 6 seconds silence at whenever he gets that is gonna be no joke. And again, you talked about the itemization, right? First item BKB coming out from the Ember. First item Lotus. Well, I guess not first item. Hood and then Lotus coming out from Greedy. And they pretty much have to because of this 5 silencer pickup.
Yeah. And it's now Hermit. He doesn't really go for a traditional like position 1 Tiny approach here. He wants straight blink dagger. So Hermit wants to be jumping in. He wants to blow people up.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably closer to a 3 Tiny 1 CK with how the game is progressing. I don't actually know which players normally play what, but it does feel like they were super flexible on which lanes that these heroes are going to go to. And it's worked out really nice for them. This blink dagger is done 12 minutes in. And we talked about Ghost wanting to bring the aggression, but it feels like South team is really the ones that are ramping up, doesn't it?
It certainly feels like that. There's an armlet finished on the CK. The Keeper of the Light has Boots of Travels and the Spirit Vessel, so this Timbersaw is not going to be nearly as tanky as he seems.
Yeah, this is why you prioritize the the Coddle in the mid lane, right? You give him that mid lane farming experience. He now has that Spirit Vessel. And I imagine we're going to see a smoke up here. I don't think South Team's waiting for anything.
Waiting for the
there we
CK
go.
to finish the Ancients, and now...
That they do not want the Enchantress, of course. They
Enchantress
want to.
is-
I think you'd ideally take the Ember Spirit. They need to get a pick off before they can actually take this mid tower, though.
Mm-hmm. And Grimstroke, they're very well aware that this smoke is happening. The way that Grimstroke is positioning himself, they're gonna put down the
they
ward
now
that's
are,
instantly being aware, and they're all head on out of there. Dig really quick a bounty rune.
Even if the smoke doesn't get them anything, you can see how much of the map they're actually going to get to control for a little bit here, right? All of Ghosts are going to be corralled into this bottom
Oh,
quadrant.
they're gonna find the Enchantress. Oh, the Mortimer Kisses.
Whoa.
Little bit off the mark there.
Shouldn't matter, but
However, that does mean now Mortimer Kisses is down, so one of the ultimates, but they're still
they're
gonna
gonna
go
go for
in.
another
Hermit,
toss back.
another toss back onto the Timbersaw. Timbersaw gonna be spirit vesseled up. He has the hood here, trying to get away. It's gonna be successful. Now the Soulbind coming out here, but they don't get any stun off.
they're gonna have another round of tiny spells here in a second if they want it. Here
the
he goes.
jump by Hermit. He gets the Grimstroke. Hermit, however, might pay his price for this. There's gonna be the dead Tiny, and Blessed Kid is gonna be going in here, but the stun
Oh, he got
onto
the
this
stun.
Ember, and Ember, Blessed Kid, he get another slide of fist up. He will Remnant out, and at the same time, Greedy gonna be solar binded, but will survive.
Ooh, this actually works out pretty nicely for Ghost.
Yeah.
They kind of just weathered the storm. It actually kind of hurt the Keeper of the Light in that fight. He had ultied, I think, very early on in that smoke, and his ulti ran out near the back end of it. So just very difficult to get those reliable illuminates when you don't have your ulti running.
And he has now used all his Spirit Vessel charges, so until they get the next kill, that might play a significant advantage. Although Greedy, it's going to be solar binded. The toss. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Rena is here as well.
They need to get the CK in range for the Reality Rift.
Reality Rift, the Avalanche, nicely done there to stop the Timber Chain, and they get the kill. At the same time, they are going to lose the Snapfire for it.
That's going to cost them their mid tower, actually. They're maybe going to go for more.
Yeah, they're going to find the Silencer as well, and he's a significant part of the fight for South Team.
So not without consequence is that Timbersaw kill. Very, very scrappy. You can see in that bottom engagement why they like this Coddle Tiny combo. He leads with the combo, and then he gets the Chakra Magic. He has another combo pretty much immediately there. As I mean, it's a 1k gold lead for South Team, but Ghost doing a very nice job of it, again, weathering the storm, it feels like.
Oh, Greedy, he just came back into the world of the living. Another cookie stun here. Goes in with the Chakra, and he will die again. Back-to-back deaths now for him.
He is being brutally punished in this game right now. Wherever he shows, it feels like he is just dying. Needs to get his second defensive item online. The hood is just not cutting it right now.
Yeah, not nearly enough. With that Lotus Orb, things are gonna be a little bit easier, but...
And the problem is who's going to make that space for them, right? It feels like all of Ghosts are kind of in a do not engage kind of mode.
Oh, they're gonna find another jump here onto this Grimstroke. Grimstroke is going to fall.
Kisses were expended once again for... I mean, probably not needed for that Grimstroke kill, but they will get the return kill on the mid-tier 1.
So far, we are 2 for 2 on the toss, making it so that the Mortimer Kisses miss.
Yeah, they definitely seemed a bit off on who's doing what there.
You gotta be impressed that they managed to do that both times, because you gotta be like, okay, next time I know. Like both players are gonna be like, okay, next time I know.
It was a scouting ulti, of course.
Exactly, scouting. Yeah, of course.
I do like what Greedy's doing, though. You know, we talked about how he's in a pretty tough spot right now. He's going to try and absorb this bottom lane farm. And it's really annoying for South Team to commit resources down here to kill him.
Yeah.
So he's at least gonna make it, obnoxious for them to kill him down here. But
No.
they're actually maybe baiting him. Look at this.
Yeah, the smoke with the Ember Spirit, who has a finished BKB, 9-second BKB charge. Hermit. Uh-oh.
Oh, he didn't get the chains.
Didn't get the chains. A nice avalanche there, and Hermit is gonna get out.
Yeah, and we are gonna start to see another problem arise here for Ghosts, which is that they don't have very natural lane shoving heroes. We're just seeing kind of, so far this entire game, James on the Coddle is just living in the side lane. He was sitting bottom for a while, now he's going to go top. And that's going to free up South Team for a lot of movements around the map. Should they want to, of course. It does look like South Team is kind of content waiting for their BKBs. The Coddle has his, and the CK is about 1,000 gold away.
Now, for this game, it is a 3,000 net worth lead. Like Ghosts, they kind of have to feel the pressure a little bit. How can they approach this? They're pinging out this tier 2 up top, which already has taken a lot of damage. But they're spotted directly under ward vision here.
You mentioned that I feel like they definitely don't feel amazing going late. But I'm not sure if you can take fights willingly. You definitely need the Blink Dagger on the Wraith King. And that's probably the big thing that they're going to be waiting for. Because they just don't have that initial jump. Right? It has to come from John Pudding this game.
So now we have to ping towards this bottom tower. Top tier 3 is getting assaulted by the boys, by the Skellies, but at the same time, a sneaky play here from the side of Ghosts. They're going into the Roshan pit.
Definitely a bit weird here. South Team is just giving them all of this top area. They are going to maybe now look to contest Roche.
Yeah, there's going to be the smoke from the 3 coming from the south.
They have everything
Artes.
online. Oh, he's going to eat the gank.
Oh, he's going to eat that gank. Oh, the
Kisses.
Kisses, however, coming in here, killing the Wraith King already down. He gets the Aegis, but his first life. Nice Soulbind there coming out from the Grimstroke and with the BKB, but the Global Silence still gonna be there. Silencer will fall, but bless Kid, he is on the retreat here. James hot on his tail. At the same time, the CK just munching through this timber.
John does not have another life on the Wraith King.
Oh no, the Wraith King, he already used the Aegis and his reincarnation. And they're just running away with it. That's a dieback on the Grimstroke. Dear.
Such a great awareness from Monty to launch the kisses in there. Just ignoring the Enchantress. He's like, that is not worth my time. Just sends the kisses in. And he immediately takes down the first life of the Wraith King there. Kind of just opens up the window for everything else to happen. And we do, of course, see the problem with the Ember Spirit going that first item BKB, don't we? He pops the BKB, and then Global comes out after, and you're still silent.
Yeah.
Just so troublesome for this Ember Spirit in this game.
I don't know. I feel like I've very rarely seen an Ember Spirit feel so sad about what the position 5 is doing to him. Greedy.
Oh, there's the Lotus.
The last word on himself, but nothing of this matters. Bless Kid, he just says, I want this silencer. This silencer belongs to me now.
He's gonna have to BKB for it,
He wants this kill right now.
Is he gonna get it?
Is he gonna get this kill? I need Lewis, that Bless Kid said. He got it in the end. Who's the real winner here?
What happened? Wraith King died again?
The real winner there is South Team. But they got the silencer kill.
And they might find Blessed Kids still. They reset the... Oh no, with the Coddle Blast. South Team just showing up to play in this first game.
Like I said, 22 minutes South Team.
Didn't you say Ghosts?
Little column A, little column B.
Do we need to pull up the records? Get the VOD?
But I mean, like, let's break down a little bit what just happened the past 2 minutes, because I feel like everything was going pretty well there for Ghosts with the tier 2 up top, and their bottom tier 2 tower still standing. What went wrong after that?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Is that South team got to the Roshan time? The Ghost team tried to pull a sneaky one on them by, you know, getting that Roshan. But just great awareness from South team to TP and actually run into the Rosh pit there. They did get the Aegis, but South team was ready to pounce on them outside of the Rosh pit, which is really what hurt them. And I just don't know how Ghost can really fight South team at this point after that.
Yeah,
there's so many stuns, so much damage coming out from all of their heroes.
It feels like right now, in order to Ghosts to play, to even like be able to play in a team fight, they need to find this silencer first, and he cannot survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see his itemization even for it. You know, just Brown Boots Ghost Scepter. He understands that if he can live long enough to get his spells out, then they're probably going to win the fight.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's going to pull the old-fashioned silencer maneuver where you just sit in fountain. You know, they can't kill me if I'm in my fountain. Like, you know, smile.
We have here the 5-man smoke South team. They don't want to let go of this pressure. But Radiant, they're going to be on a counter smoke, and they have the vision in this area. The smoke's first going to break.
Oh my god,
jump with 4-man avalanche with the Mortimer Kisses over the top. They already are going to lose the Grimstroke first.
Wraith King's going to die again.
Wraith King is just dead there, and the Enchanter's trying to get away, trying to deal any amounts of damage there. Is going to fall. The Ember Spirit has been found as well. Blessed Kid is dead, and GG's are called.
Wow. South team, just a dominant game one. You know,
Dominant.
it was, I really can't think of any other word. You know, it felt like they got everything they wanted out of the lanes. They won every fight that they decided to take. And I do keep coming back to the silencer. I think on top of that was the lane decisions, the specific way they laid out their lanes on South team that just enabled them so well in this game.
Yeah. And the last pick silencer, like, not a hero as you mentioned, we see very often, but it worked out so well. Like, the Ember Spirit went first item BKB, and he still couldn't play the game.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's not just that. I think everything just kind of came together for them, right?
For sure.
The CK had a great lane. The Tiny had a great lane. The Coddle had a great lane. And I think perhaps most importantly, they really punished this first phase Timbersaw. He just did not have a game. And he was really supposed to be the big space maker for them in this game.
Well, that was game number 1 here. South team going up 1-0. Ghosts, I'm sure they can recover. I'm sure they can come back. We'll see how that's going to go in game number 2 after a short break. Hello and welcome back to Ghosts versus South Team after South Team took a commanding game number 1. They are currently up 1-0 in the DPC close qualifier South American edition. Brightside, Keeper of Light this time on the other side. Are they gonna win?
Well, not too sure, right? I mean, I think the coddle in the last game was obviously immensely important just because of how good of a spirit vessel game it was. Not sure if South Team will necessarily fall into the same trap necessarily. So remains to be seen. A lot of respect bands coming out this time, specifically the CK. And we do see the immediate response to the coddle with the Storm Earth Spirit from South Team.
Two brothers coming into war here. The Storm Spirit, you mentioned on it in the previous draft and also during the previous series how it wasn't really first phase picked and then second phase or third phase banned. And now here we're gonna see the first phase Storm Spirit with an Earth Spirit together.
Yeah, and these two heroes are so particularly nice against Coddle specifically because Coddle just, well, he doesn't have any stuns, right? He's pretty much exclusively movement speed based hero that has really no defensive spells. Once you get on top of him, no way to escape, no way to keep you off him. I guess kind of Blinding Light, but so both of these heroes love playing against Keeper of the Light.
And Ghosts, they say, yo, the enemy won with Coddle, Tiny. Let's go with those. They can't go for the CK, unfortunately. They banned that out themselves. Otherwise, they most likely would just run the draft back with exactly what South Team had. But South Team, I feel like already, they have so much jump, as you mentioned. The Keeper of Light has to be very careful. And I'm already kind of shying away from this being a core coddle. How do you feel about it?
I feel the exact same way. It already, you feel like playing into Storm Spirit and Earth Spirit, playing mid coddle seems a bit nightmarish. So I would imagine we see it +4. I don't think there's really any other role for it besides those two roles. And the question is really going to be, where does the Tiny go? Right? The coddle is flexible to an extent, but Tiny could be 4, could be mid, could be carry. If you're South Team, it could be like a 3-2, like a 1-3 flex kind of thing. So a lot of question marks around where that hero is going.
Yeah, and for once, the Grimstroke is gonna get banned out. So Ghosts, all 3 games that we have seen from them today, they've involved a Grimstroke in their lineup. That's not going to be the case in this one here, and I'm going to be interested to see how that's going to change up their draft. Not having that strong initiation with a stunner and the Inkswell.
Yeah, and you definitely have to imagine South Team let them have the Grimstroke last game, just because they recognized, well, wasn't a great Grimstroke game. This time around, though, with 2 Spirit heroes, the link against Storm Spirit in particular. Definitely would have been particularly annoying. As looking at some of these bans here on Ghosts, just want to highlight, so the Beastmaster ban and the PL ban coming out from Ghosts. This does make me think they might be running Carry Tiny. Specifically the Beastmaster ban. Just because that matchup is pretty annoying for the Tiny once there's some levels on the Beastmaster.
For sure. Now South Team, they're banning out the Underlord.
So the question is really going to be, they probably will show their 5 here on South Team because I think they want to know where this Tiny is going before they commit their offlaner. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to, if they see that it's Carry Tiny, they're just going to immediately either Necro or Veno or Viper or something along those lines.
Now, another hero that is completely untouched at the moment from both sides is the Mars hero. which is was very popular at the major. So currently both of these teams not opting for either of those. As you mentioned, South team, they're mostly gonna go for their support. Yeah, Bane. So lots of single target potential there with the Bane, but not really a lot of wave clear.
Yeah, definitely correct there. Bane, I guess if you get the shard, he's got a lot of wave clear. But Bane is, I think, one of the more popular responses to Coddle, specifically the Coddle pairings that we see, because it's normally Coddle plus a spirit hero.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bane has that single target reliable lockdown for the spirit hero in the Fiend's Grip. It's a little weirder into Tiny, right? Because Tiny has obviously 2 ways to cancel it. The Avalanche is a long range. But Bane is pretty naturally tanky, right? He's obviously has the Brain Sap, his 10 talent, 10% magic resistance, very nice against Tiny as well. Mm-hmm. So the pick makes sense for on a couple levels. It does make both of their supports on South team kind of single target. I know Earth Spirit has AoE spells, but you're normally going on one target. And the same can be said for Bane.
Mm-hmm. And Ghosts, they're gonna continue with circles here. They have the Avalanche, the Kinetic Field, Static Storm, Illuminate is kinda a circle, Blinding Light. Very much the opposite of what South team has, but of course you still have the Glimpse. And Glimpse is gonna be very nice against those Spirit Brothers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can of course dodge it with the ball lightning. Wait, is that true? I have like 500 games of Disruptor. I feel like I should know that. Well, regardless, the Static Storm is very nice.
Oh yeah.
You talk about just strictly, all of these heroes on South team are pretty reliant on their spells for survivability in one way or another. And they're going to partner the Disruptor with a reliable go-in fight starter in the Sand King. So I really like the Sand King pickup coming out from Ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And right now I feel like Ghosts just have a very big amount of very strong AoEs on their side. Well, South team going for pretty traditional Wraith King here and leaving their offlaner last, as they still aren't sure if this is going to be Tiny mid or Tiny position 1. Or, I mean, it could still be Keeper mid, Tiny 4.
Yeah, it could be, but you can see they're going to ban out Necro, and they're probably going to ban out Veno or Viper, and that's probably going to be the dead giveaway that it's Carry Tiny. So this Wraith King pick from South team, very interesting. We saw the Wraith King last game. It looked pretty underwhelming. This looks like a significantly better Wraith King game, though, where they have a very limited amount of single target damage that they can blow onto a target, right? It's Epicenter, Tiny combo. But what's there for the second round? What's there for the second life? Not much, really. It's going to be on this last pick from Ghosts to kind of shore that up, I suppose.
They're banning out the Night Stalker. I guess another hero that can very easily get on top of the Keeper, Disruptor. Like, even the Tiny, like, if he's silenced and he doesn't have a BKB, he can't do anything.
We did see Saber Chad pop the F off on that hero.
Sure, man. That man's just built different on Night Stalker.
And I like the reactionary ban from South team. So the Night Stalker ban comes out, which, like you said, a little unorthodox in some ways. And then the immediate puck ban coming out from Ghost. So they're thinking it's going to be Carry Tiny, offlane Sand King. And they're picking up a mid here. Because they do ban the Invoker as well.
I mean, in theory, we've also seen a little bit of Sand King mid if they wanted to go that route, but 10 seconds left here for their last pick. Now they are like on their last tournament lives.
Ooh.
Sorry?
I was gonna say Queen of Pain maybe, but they're gonna go for it Medusa. Well, it is a pretty nice deuce a game, just from a how did they kill her perspective, right? No natural mana break, always good. You're laning against, and the problem is I feel like South team is just gonna pick Viper here. And they're gonna absolutely crush this Medusa's lane, and they can just snowball the game there.
I'm also a little bit worried here because in a team fight, Bane might just be able to just nightmare the Medusa and they kill everybody else and just leave her for last.
On top of that, South team, they have pretty mobile heroes.
Yeah.
Specifically their first two heroes. It's pretty easy to play this bob and weave game with the Medusa. Obviously, historically immobile, not historically. Very widely known to be the most immobile hero in the game.
What about Crystal Maiden?
Well,
As they're gonna go for the Brewmaster. Did you expect that pick to come out?
I cannot say I did. And it's a very different line of thinking than what the Viper was. We said Viper was really good because they could just grief the Medusa's lane and snowball. Brewmaster can kind of do that, but even more so, he's the mid-game Medusa griefer. It's kind of the, if you want to give him a nickname. Because you split, you throw the Medusa up, you kill everybody else. And that's exactly what we were just talking about, right? Now they have a guaranteed tool to do that in these fights for South Team.
Yeah, and the question is kind of going to be how are they going to stop that on the side of Ghosts? And
it's really a lot on the Disruptor Sand King this game. I do like the Disruptor Brewmaster matchup for the Disruptor, because if you kill him inside the Static Storm, he doesn't get his split off, right?
Yeah.
What some Brewmasters do though, and we saw Cuckoo do it at the Major, right? He just rushed Aeon Disc first item, and you guarantee get your split off. So I'm very curious to see what kind of itemization we see from this offlane Brewmaster, as it's back against the wall here for Ghosts. They lose this game, their close quali run is over.
Yep. How are they going to perform under this? It is 1-0 for the side of South Team on the Dire, and Ghosts, they want to keep their hopes alive. They want to get into Division 2 DPC, as we are going to see the mid Tiny and the Keeper of the Light support. As Dire side, meanwhile, they're smoked up and just looking to get out a little bit faster. However, you can't really get out much faster than this.
Coddle with boots. I don't think you're beating him. He is 365 movement speed.
Yeah. As James he's literally just standing there.
He's just trying to pretend on Coddle that he doesn't have a ward here. I always get so nervous if I'm playing mid and the supports come up here. I'm like, don't give away my ward. Don't give him away my ward. pretend there's nothing here.
30 seconds.
The worst is when the support just places it anyways, just guessing. Just guessing that you place it and you're like, really?
As Ghosts, they are sniffing out that there is an Earth Spirit right here, but they're not going to be able to find them. Yeah.
So it looks like nothing will come out of these early shenanigans, though the Coddle will block the small camp up here, so it's a small but could be big thing here.
And Louis is actually securing the third bounty rune for his team, as well as a good amount of harass onto the Sand King.
Does skill up the Nightmare, so the trading capabilities will be a bit reduced. Although maybe you want Nightmare against Coddle anyways. So you can cancel the first few Illuminates. So that's kind of curious. Never actually thought about it.
Of course,
does make sense.
There's also potential to just dodge the Illuminate damage with Nightmare.
You look at this game of cat and mouse that's going on here. Lewis will unfortunately not be able to cancel that one.
Yeah, however, this range creep now is going to get denied. And with that...
such as the woes of playing Sand King, right? You go the Caustic level 1 for the other creeps, but you grief your range creep. Such is the life, I suppose.
As meanwhile in the bottom lane, so it's going. So you mentioned you wanted something to see like Viper or Venomancer to like crush the lane of the Medusa. How is this lane going to go? The Brewmaster Earth Spirit versus the Disruptor Medusa.
I think once there's a little bit more levels on the south team off lane down here, I think they could easily kill the Medusa or the Disruptor. The problem is you have to get to those levels, and Medusa is one of those heroes that is just so annoyingly good at laning.
Yeah.
And there was a reason why we were seeing Evil Geniuses, for example, they would just first phase Medusa, because Arteezy would always have a good lane on this hero, and then you obviously transition super well. And curious to see if that happens in this game where John Pudding, he just completely free farms on the Medusa, or if they can slow him down a little bit.
I don't think I ever got to ask you that. How do you feel about this change to the Drunken Brawler with these like different stances?
I think it's really cool. I think they made him significantly better in the mid game, because if you can get the status resistance thing off before they go on you, it's pretty fight changing, because you're almost guaranteed getting split off then. Yeah. On top of that, I think the bonus magic resistance, just making this hero harder to burst in the mid game, is always going to be good.
Yes, they are going to go onto the Disruptor here. Not going to have enough damage to finish him off, however. Monty, though, is certainly trying to, but may have paid for it with his life. There's going to be the Cinder Brew, the Fairy Fire, the roll. Who's going to die first? He got him! And he survives!
Oh my god, he lived on like 4 HP. Oh my.
What a madman.
I thought he was crazy, but he had a big wand, or a big stick, and the Fairy Fire. Just perfect understanding of his limits there.
One of the few joys as position 5s is when you play Bane, you just nightmare the enemy who wants to go for the last hit on the range creep. You nightmare him and you just deny the nightmare. It's just, okay, what you gonna do about it?
It's the simple things in life, Apon.
Exactly.
And the mid lane.
Oh, ooh.
I think he must have gotten tossed under tower there. You have to be so careful when you lane against this tiny hero. One miscue there.
Positioning is everything there.
And his small camp is still blocked on Storm, so normally you might see Storm start to pull ahead around this point in the lane, but his camp being blocked still is pretty crippling. And the Cuddle even comes mid to salve the Tiny. Blessed Kid's having a blessed day thanks to his 4.
Do you ever feel like mid players are a little bit too entitled
Alright, does.
Uh-oh.
Another find.
You mentioned it, once they get levels, they're gonna find the Disruptor.
And this is one of those lanes as Disruptor that you just really, if you show, you die. Because the Medusa, speaking of this, Medusa.
That was beautifully timed with the Cinder Brew as well. However, she is going to TP out, but she's taking so much damage from it.
And now they know he doesn't have a TP, and they also know he's here because they have this lane ward. So if they do find an opportunity, they could go for the dive.
And Hermit, yeah.
You're saying, do I feel like mids are entitled? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Absolutely.
His mid-core players. And Hermit actually, he didn't really hear you about the Anders. He says first item Agnum Scepter before boots is the build.
I think that's another route that you can go. It's kind of the alternative to what we were talking about, whereas the you just rush the Aeon Disc or like a BKB or something, because you can just split out of vision here when you have the Ags. Oh, and Lewis actually sneaks in and blocks the Ancients. There's already a triple stack at them, though. So, not sure if that's going to matter too much. Coddle's just dedicated his entire game to these stacks.
Let's hope they're not gonna get stolen as we saw in an earlier game.
Yeah, that was pretty traumatic. I won't lie.
Now the 6-minute runes, supports are rotating it. It will be bottom. Everybody was top though.
And Storm will be zipping for that. Thank you.
Oh, regeneration rune.
He almost forgot to pick it up, but he did.
At the same time, though, Hermit is getting gone on nice kinetic field coming out there. Now looking to turn this around, gets the clap, and now the roll here. This Disruptor is dead. Is he?
Well, not quite enough juice.
I was surprised he didn't even go for the magnetic grip, just for damage, but I guess he knows not enough damage.
We are seeing the stark contrast in what the Wraith Kings in this game are able to do. I'm keeping a close eye on bottom here, but Reyna is just allowed to free farm in the lane, push in the lane, farm the large camp. Whereas in the last game, the Wraith King had to go jungle at like level 5.
Yeah, it's
just such a difference.
There's Lewis here as well. They're gonna get the Nightmare onto the Coddle.
They do get the kill. Not necessarily worth it.
Where did Lewis come from?
He was just kind of roaming down here. He got this really nice ward down here on the outpost earlier on his way. Because like we said, he's not needed top.
Yeah.
Reyna's completely free farming up here. I guess the Sand King is also having a good time. But you're definitely very happy with the Wraith King getting this much.
He's level 7 at 7 minutes. I mean, that just says how good.
Yeah, he's the same level as the Storm Spirit for reference.
Yeah.
And the Tiny. The Tiny is almost a full level up on the Storm, though, just because of that solo kill.
Yeah, he is going to jump in the nice toss, though, by Blessed Kiss, but the roll coming out here. There's going to be an Invis rune going to be snatched up by James here. Illuminate coming through, and with the Chakra Magic, looking to turn this around. Monty is going to get tossed here, and is going to die first. The Burrow Strike coming in. James, however, has the Invis rune. Hermit coming in with the split. Now looking to turn this around onto all 3 heroes. They find the first kill, lift up the Sand King. However, James gets the ball lightning out, and Blessed Kid trying to finish off the Storm Spirit, but not gonna be able to.
James is so low. James was playing on a nice edge there, able to get out there, and a great rotation from the Brewmaster. Hermit making a very, very wise decision with his first primal split.
Also, the fact that Sand King came in, they gave up this tier 1 tower. It's at 38 health.
You just deny it. Oh, this
the boys.
The boys. Season 3 of The Boys, by the way, coming out soon on the Amazon Prime. # sponsor us. Just kidding. Though it is a good show.
The Dodo anime?
Yes.
I like
Although confession time, haven't seen season 2.
I've seen season 2. I think season 2 is better than season 1.
Is it still awkwardly fast paced?
It is very awkwardly fast paced.
Because wasn't that the big complaint with the first one? It was that it felt like they were rushing through everything.
So so from what I've heard is that they also they thought in the first season all of their episodes were going to be 30 minutes, but then like halfway through production they were told it's going to be 24 minutes for each episode, which that's
so annoying.
That's why it felt so awkwardly paced. For season 2, I don't really know what the excuse there is.
Maybe they just got greedy. They were like, yeah, we need more content.
But like for me personally, I felt, even though it was very fast paced, it had a lot of very much characters in it like character development that I thought was very, very cool.
Very interesting, by the way, just to disturb your train of thought. So they gave half of this ancient stack to the Sand King on the side of Ghosts, and the rest of it will go into the grubby little hands of the Medusa, but that's Blink Dagger completed on Greedy on the Sand King.
Oh.
So it is. It's go time here on the Radiant.
And
See what they
looking-
can find.
Where are they gonna go? Okay, he's gonna TP mid. And
They're gonna
most likely-
smoke
yeah,
up.
smoke up.
Level 6 on the Disruptor as well, so they've got pretty much everything at their disposal.
That's Spain.
There's a haste on this storm that could be a. Oh. And they
now
go into the
Lewis,
triangle, but
though.
nobody's home. This is.
Oh, they're gonna
they don't
see
want
the
the
call
Wraith
and they
King.
see the Sand King. However, Wraith King gonna be the one to go on first. The Static Storm coming out, but no, Sand King is the one to get gone on first. Can he get his epicenter off? Yes, he can. The two supports
Wraith
are
King's
going
coming
to die.
back.
Wraith King is back here.
Your king is here.
Oh, one true king with one true hit.
They still have the split. Blessed Kid's in trouble.
That's gonna
Actually,
be the
John
stun.
might be in trouble.
John, he has the stone gaze. It's gonna get
got
lifted
lifted.
up. And they're just gonna back off out of this. Blessed Kid.
Okay, and
is
it looks
gonna-
like they've abandoned ship.
Yeah, Hermit's trying to get out. Huh? It's gonna lift up the Sand King once again. Lewis is here.
That was a quick disengage there from South Team. They got the kills, the cleanup kills at the end there, and they just immediately took their win and bailed. Right, no ultimate on Sand King, primal split ending. No need to overextend themselves. That was, I don't want to say it was worst case for Ghost, but that was definitely not what they wanted out of that. They got a kill trade, while I guess they're gonna get the mid tier 1 now, but it doesn't feel good getting that off of all of your big timings coming together.
Yeah, for sure. As well as like Rina joined in. Yes, his reincarnation died, but he got some kills. And as soon as like he saw there's nothing more to gain here, he TP'd at back top where he was like, this is my safe space, his personal space where he
And
will be
just
farming.
look at how farmed he is on this Wraith King. He's a full 1k gold up on the Medusa. Who, by the way, this Medusa got a triple stacked Ancients pretty much. But this is a big smoke. There's no ultimate on the Wraith King for 90 more seconds.
Yeah, epicenter coming up in 15. That's gonna be the Burrow Strike straight onto the Wraith King, but the jump in from Monty. Do they have the damage to finish off Rina here? Rina with the Static Storm, he's getting lower and lower. The Nightmare save, it's not gonna be enough. That's gonna be a glimpse away from the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit not gonna be part of this fight anymore. And the Fiend Script completely not getting them a kill. As Blessed Kid is going to die here to the Magnetized Monty, getting the double kill. But Hermit, he doesn't have an ultimate either.
He got the Drunken Brawler off, though.
Can he survive this? Yeah, with that stance on himself. And now
the storm's
jump
coming
in,
back
James
in.
is back. Greedy. Can he get out of this? He gets the
Oh my
blink,
gosh,
the
he's gotta
top
get out.
story. Okay.
That turns out very, very good for Ghost still. It looked a bit dicey. But it winds up working out phenomenally, right? Great timing on that smoke by Ghost.
Yes.
No reincarnation, no primal split. So just great recognition that they should be looking for fights right now.
Also, John was not part of that fight, so he was just farming up top, and that's 1,000 net worth lead now very much slimmed down to only 300.
All of a sudden, you'd say the lead swings back towards Ghosts off of that move. But it's going to be a bit more difficult, right? Hermit, big item completed for him.
Yeah.
Full Aghanim. So now 2 splits.
Blessed
And
Kid.
Blessed Kid.
Oh, nice
think
blink
he-
away there, but the roll is still going to connect. There's going to be the roll coming out. They're looking to go onto Blessed Kid first. The silence onto the Sand King. He is going to get lifted up, so no stuns coming out from
Here
him. The
comes the
jump
storm.
in from James here. There's a nice
Oh,
static
static.
storm, though, and they're looking to turn this around onto James. James, however, will get away. Monty finally going to be ended by the Illuminate Rina, joining in with the reincarnation. And
The Medusa's
Uh-oh,
here.
the
They're looking
Medusa-
to turn this.
the Boros Strike in here, and Rina, he's forced
He's
to
lifted, though.
face this. And his first life is gonna be gone. James coming in, trying to finish off this Coddle here, and they're gonna get him first. And Rina with his second life, trying to get away.
Oh, Bane has been left for the Wolves here. Oh! Don't.
Another brain sap.
Very, very wild fight there. So that was the big Ags reveal from the Brewmaster, and we are definitely starting to see why they liked this Brewmaster pick into the Medusa, right? The Medusa shows up, you split, you throw her in the air. But again, I think the fight works out pretty favorably for Ghost. Your Medusa doesn't die. South team used every single ultimate that they own.
Mm-hmm.
I guess except for Fiend's Grip. They didn't use Fiend's Grip. But once again, Reincarnation put on cooldown, so another 70 seconds on the sideline for this Wraith King. And all the meanwhile, John, he's just continuing to farm away. Now top net worth on this Medusa.
Is this a game where you feel the Medusa is going to be able to 1v5?
It definitely seems that way. It will be a bit difficult once the Brew has, like 4 splits and just continuously lift the Medusa. But it definitely seems like it's trending in that direction. Specifically because of how well Greedy is continuing to scale. Haven't talked much about him this game, but he's 5-0-3 on this Sand King. Hasn't died this game, has been in almost every kill to their name. And if he can continue to scale and take these longer engagements with the constant burrow strikes, it's going to go a long way towards Ghost being able to take this game.
Yeah. You mentioned it during the draft that you feel like there's a lot on this Sand King as well as this Disruptor to perform well. And so far they are delivering. The Disruptor got a very clutch Static Storm off earlier, as well as his glimpses, like glimpsing the Storm Spirit away time and again and making him use his mana pool for it, as there is a pretty big Ancient stack, but who is going to clear that on the Dire side?
Wraith King can take it, I'm pretty sure. He's got the completed Desolator.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the Storm Spirit, and we're definitely seeing James. He's struggling to really find these easy access points into the fights, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of times he's trying to play it super patient, but it's really hard for him to find targets to go on. At least until he has the BKB. But that's still 800 gold off, 900 gold off for him.
Yeah. Also, I wonder if South team specifically waited for past the 17-minute mark to take that Ancient stack. Not only because of like it's kind of hard to take, but also to get those neutral items as quickly as they can once they are able to spawn on the Dire side. All 5 available already.
And let's see, what do they get? They got the Strength Vambrace. Very nice. Nether Shawl. That'll be really nice for the Brewmaster this game.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Ghost damage output. It's all magic right now.
I also think it's very funny he doesn't even have a boot.
On the Brewmaster?
Yeah.
I wonder if he... So how much do you get from the... You get 11% bonus movement speed base from the Storm Brawler. So he has 344 without boots.
Mm-hmm.
That's not too shabby, all things considered.
And it's faster than a Crystal Maiden with boots.
That's unfortunately true. Poor CM. The forever slug.
But she's fast as the Wolves of Ice Rack.
Yeah. And you can really see, it's just, you want to get to these big items as fast as possible on Brewmaster. He's eyeing up that Refresher. He's on it. Honestly, not too far away. He's about he's about a recipe away at this point. 1,700 gold.
He's the second most farmed hero on the Dire team. Like, he's more farmed than the Storm Spirit right now. James, who does now have his finished BKB, so we're gonna expect that to change the next few team fights quite a bit.
And there's a Blink Dagger completed on the Wraith King as well, so they can now instantly find these targets.
And Rina, he's still here. The team disengaged. There's gonna be a stun thrown out. He's gonna get whipped. You whipped the one true king. As there's going to be the jump in here from the Storm Spirit straight onto the Disruptor. No more glimpse for you, dear sir. But the Epicenter Borrow Strike is going to go onto 2 here. Rina might have to lose his first life. Your first life down. Buyback from the Keeper of Light. And now John is joining in here as well. They're gonna lock down this Wraith King. That's gonna be the Fiend's Grip though. He's still alive. They brought up the Medusa up into the air. And bless Kid, he is gonna be all alone. He is going to die. And the Nightmare on her as well. She can't do anything.
Do they have enough in the tank to kill her?
That's gonna be the question now. Is it a 5v1
right,
pretty
they
much?
got her.
Disruptor coming in, but the Static Storm coming out there. A nice attempt, but in the end, that's a beautiful fight there, D.
It's all set up to Bane placed this ward on the high ground while smoked, and there was no sentry from Ghosts. So they just immediately located the 2 supports in the back lines and took them out at the start of the fight. And we see that without the supports, this Medusa really can't function. She needs the Coddle mana. They need the Disruptor Static Storm. That was a dieback from Coddle, by the way, I believe, in that engagement. So it was a 6 for 0, like a 7 for 0.
Yeah. It looked close there on the Wraith King for one moment, but as soon as the Brewmaster lifted the Medusa up, there was no chance for them to kill off Rina anymore, and the Fiend's Grip onto the Tiny.
Just the double split is so tough for Medusa to deal with right now, and you can see he's actually gonna have to queue up a 3rd item BKB. He needs to be able to sit and do damage in these fights. We see how easily he's ignored.
Yeah. It is the lift up from the Brewmaster as well as the Nightmare from the Bane. And then once you have the BKB, it will also be the Fiend's Grip.
It's not like it's getting easier either, Apon. Look at what Brewmaster has.
Ooh.
That's 4 splits. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a math major.
Congrats.
Commend me, thank you. Yep.
I know.
But I got my
degree.
you know, I got a fancy degree that makes it I can say I can count.
Congrats, man. I
Yes.
can't count. I say 1, 3, 2, 4.
So they are gonna 5-man smoke though into the dire triangle. And
the
this is the ideal target.
It's gonna be a Static Storm straight onto him. Can he get anything off here? The answer is no.
There is no way they're taking a fight now with him dying.
Despite him having 4 splits. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we do see, right, if they can get on the Brewmaster, they can kill him. The question's going to come when he does get his Aeon Disc, you know, are they going to be able to still take fights? I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't usually see Brewmasters being this farm, but he is keeping up in terms of farm, and that has enabled them to take that previous engagement there as Monty. Oh, it's getting close to Greedy. Gonna see the sinking.
We're really just seeing, I think, James this game has taken a bit of a back seat in terms of the farm priority. And it's really enabling the Brewmaster. And they're gonna
Disruptor.
Which is a great find, and they're gonna maybe even find Greedy.
Greedy gets.
He will be fine.
He has the blink attack. As at the same time, though, Lewis finds a Nightmare onto the
That's
Keeper.
a dead Coddle. See you later, brother.
Yeah. And
They're
now
gonna bottle up
without
this
those
DD as well.
supports,
Actually, I think they're gonna give this to the Wraith King. They can threaten Roche,
yeah, the bottle is going to be there.
and they're gonna look to threaten Roche with this DD rune. Is there a way to stop them? Epicenter on cooldown for 20 seconds still from when they had to go on the Brewmaster. And they have 4 splits, so they can really just start popping these like candy.
Yeah, just like Tic Tac.
It's like Tic Tacs, yep. The orange Tic Tac, the best one, by the way. Anyway, the team fight.
by far the best one. Don't even at me as
Storm Panda
Hermit.
running in here.
Oh, yeah, there's no fight to be taken, and there's gonna be the Medusa in the air.
Medusa's in trouble now.
Yeah, Tiny already dead, as on the other side, Greedy is gonna get Fiend Script, and that's gonna be the Sand King going down as well. And Medusa still not able to get anything off, has to be forced to just get away with her ultimate and trying to TP on out.
He is not getting out of here. Herman is on him.
Oh, this is...
He just can't play.
That's gonna be a TP though.
Oh, the
TP.
blink was 1 second CD. But again, another fight where John literally just doesn't get to play his hero. Just for about 30 seconds straight in that fight, he gets permanently lifted. And South Team, they just fully recognize that this Medusa just needs to be ignored. It's eyes on everybody else.
And now the Storm Spirit has picked up an Aegis, one of the best Aegis carrier in the game, of course, as Lewis, it's gonna get gone on. However, the rest of his team is in the area.
They still have 2 splits.
They still have 2 splits. They're gonna go straight for the Tiny. A nice Static Storm to come out here. Blessed Kid is going to be the first one to die. However, Storm Spirit is gonna lose his Aegis. That's gonna be the lift up onto the Medusa. Once again, she is not allowed to play the game. Greedy, meanwhile, that's gonna be the sentry ward to finally be able to see her. But they're now focusing here onto the Medusa. Medusa surrounded by 4 heroes, not going to be able to fight her way out of this.
Found another.
They're going to find another onto the Keeper of Light. And the
Sand King was also found.
He gets the blink out. Although Hermit, he's still on the chase. He's like, there's a Sand King here and I want him dead.
This is it's a bit tough to force him out of this. He does have the Yules.
And gets the blink out.
They're gonna chase him. They are.
They want to find this kill.
Not for long. Again, though, just Apon, this Brewmaster. Time after time after time.
Can I just say, South team made both this Silencer and this Brewmaster pick look broken, kinda.
Absolutely. No, you're completely right. The first game, Lewis on the Silencer. In this game, the last pick, Brewmaster. We even saw in that last fight, the Disruptor actually tried to Static Storm the Wind Panda.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually managed to get the Wind Panda out of the kinetic field in time. So the lift still came out. It's you can really see they're trying everything they can to keep this lift from coming out. But it just hasn't been proven enough yet.
Yeah.
And you're starting to get to the point where, like, you're not going to need to lift her up for very long anymore. Mm-hmm. You're going to start getting more and more items, especially on your supports. The Glimmer Cape on Bane, the BKB on Earth Spirit.
Yeah. Also, the Bane with his skill bit maxed out and feeble already. Rina is going to jump in here between 4 heroes, and his team a little bit slow to respond. They are coming in now, however. Rina is gonna lose his footlight. That's gonna there's the split, putting the Medusa once again up. They found the Disruptor dead. John, is he gonna be allowed to play the game? Nope. Put him up into the air again as Greedy. Oh, he's gonna get stunned here. He's gonna find the kill onto the Bane.
There's 2 more splits coming. He's got to refresh.
2 more splits coming.
Here they come.
There's the split. There's gonna be.
Oh my god.
Just can't play the game as the buybacks from the Radiant are coming in. They find the kill onto the Sand King. Now they're gonna
back.
Oh, that's a nice avalanche there. There's gonna be out of mana on the Medusa, and that's going to be Medusa dead, and Blessed Kid going to fall as well.
That's gonna be a dieback on him. Oh. He almost got to play. He got to press his ultimate, Apon.
He got to press his ultimate, and he got to spin in the air with his ultimate.
The true MVP of that fight is the rest of South team. So Reyna blinked in on the Wraith King, but he's literally just standing in front trying to get vision. It was such great patience from the Storm Spirit there, and the Earth Spirit, they just wait, and then they find the Disruptor and take him out. Such great target priority from them this entire game. Across the board, really.
Yeah. Carl is getting the Medusa treatment now, getting lifted up into the air.
Yeah, the Deuce is dead for 30. He's like, well, there's nobody else to live.
Greedy, it's going to jump in here onto Rina. Rina, of course, still has the reincarnation. It's going to be forced to pop that here.
Not too much gonna come out of this. Just gonna BKB, TP out.
Hermit, however, he doesn't have any more splits. He's gonna run away. He's gonna be lifted up. He doesn't. Now he knows what he does to the Medusa.
This is a long-winded kill.
This is the solar pipe making him so
He's gonna cinder. I don't think he's actually gonna die.
No, he's not gonna die. The rest of his team is approaching. Although 2 hero bar strike from Greedy, epicenter, no
silence. What a silence!
And Hermit is gonna get out.
Hermit got 2 of the self-drunken brawlers on him, so he got the 50% 40% magic resistance, and now they're
Oh,
going
there's
back
gonna
in.
be the jump. Once again, the disruptor is #1 priority. James, now with this BKB, is gonna come to play.
Here's the
John,
split.
however, John, go up into the
Hello?
air.
Into the air.
And Blessed Kid is going to die as John.
Oh, I see your. I see you need. Oh, this time it gets
Oh.
Fiend's Grip.
we really, like, we can't let you play this game. And they dismantled this Medusa pick.
They really truly did. I haven't seen. You always hear that this is a counter pick, right? The Brewmaster versus Medusa. But I feel like a lot of times the Brewmaster doesn't fully get to influence the matchup. This was well and truly a Brewmaster game.
Yeah.
The Medusa may have spent more time in the air than she did right-clicking enemies this game.
Mm-hmm.
We can't actually back that up, but...
I mean, it feels very similar to what happened to Blessed Kid in game #1 against the Silencer. Like, he didn't get to play the game. This Medusa didn't get to play the game, and South Team firmly established themselves as the second strongest team in these close qualifiers.
Absolutely. This was, both of these teams dropped into the lower bracket earlier on and they made great runs, but South Team very firmly putting their stamp on these games, I'd say. Just it didn't seem like Ghost really had any answers. Just full domination from South Team.
Mm-hmm. And very much like the whole team seemed to be on the same page when they want to go in and when they want to get out. And bob and weave. As, with that, game #2 is over. And with that, the series, South Team is going to get into the South American DPC Division 2. Very excited to see them there. I like what this team has shown me. And I'm very excited to see how they're going to perform during the entire third tour of this DPC season. Brightside, as usual, it is a pleasure to cast with you. If you want to hear more of that guy, be sure to follow him on Twitter at Brightside Dota or on his Twitch at Mr. Brightside Dota. If you want to hear more of my cast, also be sure to follow me on my Twitter at aponzeus7 or on my Twitch at twitch.tv/aponzeus. I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening. Keep enjoying the dotes. Good night.